Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru.
Waheguru Sahib Jiyo. फुरमान तेरा सिरे ऊपर फिर ना करत विचार तू ही दरिया तू ही करिया तुझे ते निस्तार बंदे बंदगी इख्तियार साहिब रोस तरों के प्यार साहिब रोस तरों के प्यार तू चौ सज्जन मैंडिया डेई सिस उतार नैन महिंजे तरस दे कद पसी दीदार कद पसी दीदार। गुरु प्रसाद जी रल में की फतेह बुलाएं जी। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। सासंग जी ਆਪਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਰਹਿਰਾਸ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦਾ ਅਰਥ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਤੇ 2 ਹਫ਼ਤੇ ਦੀ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਸੀਗੀ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਆਪਾਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਗਏ ਸੀਗੇ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਪੌੜੀ ਆਸਾ ਮਹਿਲਾ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜਿਸ ਸੁਨ ਵੱਡਾ ਆਖੀ ਸੋ ਕੋਈ ਉਹ ਉਸ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਤੁਧ ਬਿਨ ਸਿੱਧੀ ਕਿਨੇ ਨਾ ਪਾਇਆ ਕਰਮ ਮਿਲੇ ਨਾ ਹੀ ਠਾਕ ਰਹਾਇਆ। So 2 weeks ago we were going through Rehraas Sahib and we got up to the bit when in slok in Asa Mahela Pehla Maharaj says Tudh bin siddhi kine na paiya. They say without you Vaheguru no one ever achieved anything on them by themselves. Siddhi here can mean the spiritual powers that the yogis achieved, but it can also mean siddhi can also mean to perfect something. So when you become good at something, like you might become good at kirtan, be good at tabla, किसी उस चीज में सिद्ध कर लेता। And Maharaj is saying that even that siddhi, the perfection, that achievement is also by Guru Sahib's kirpa. Even if you say of us keeping our case, and we start to keep our case, and we start to keep our turban, and then utte bhi it takes time to become good at it. But wo bhi ek siddhi hai, siddh karna, to become good at that, become like normalized. Even that is a skill that Maharaj blesses. So when we look at somebody, we shouldn't always admire the person who's got it. We should think about the person that is giving them that thing. Akal Purakh Vaheguru, yeah? Tudh bin siddhi kine na paiya. Look, let's focus upon the one who's the giver and not the one who's a receiver. So here Maharaj says that karam mile nahi thak rahaya. We said there's 3 meanings of this. The first one being that when we get God's grace, karam mile, when we get karam also means kirpa. Nahi thak rahaya means nothing is kept back then. When He gives His grace, He gives all of His grace at the same time. He gives so much of it. So it's up to us how much we're prepared to receive. But He's not holding back from us if we are open to receiving. Then another meaning of this, the same pankti, is that if we don't get God's grace, karam mile nahi, if we don't get this grace, then thak rahaya, then these spiritual powers, these successes don't come to us. Many times we're thinking in life, why can't I succeed? Why can't I get past this? Because Maharaj Kirpa nahi kare us fele. Yeah? At that point, something is in stopping us from receiving that Kirpa. We have to look inside and work out what is stopping us from getting this Kirpa. And then another meaning of this is karam mile. If you get the karam, He gives you all His blessings. But if He takes that karam away, He takes that Kirpa away because of something that we done, then they are stopped. Those powers, those spiritual blessings, they are stopped if He stops His Kirpa. And we talked about then about Ram Rai. Ram Rai ji is the son of Guru Rehraas Sahib ji, the 7th Guru. And we talked about the Sakhi, and because it's, sometimes we become a bit too intellectual up here, anyway I tend to, then maybe we should focus upon some Sakhi and because there's quite a lot to learn from Sakhi as well. So Guru Rehraas Sahib ji Maharaj, they had 2 children. One was much older than the other one. So Ram Rai was the elder son, and then Guru Harkishan Sahib ji is the younger son. So what happens is that at some point, when Dara Shikoh, who was the son of Shah Jahan, and he was the elder brother of Aurangzeb, and Aurangzeb was quite a tyrant. What he'd done is, he'd basically taken his father, put him into prison. Shah Jahan ended up being in prison. Then he took his elder brother, and he tried to hunt him down and kill him, and he actually succeeded, and then he became the king of India, Mughal king. So being a tyrant like that and also a religious fanatic, Dara Shikoh had run away from him, and also he had turned to Guru Rehraas Sahib Ji on his way up. And Maharaj actually helped him, because Dara Shikoh, when he was younger, he'd fallen ill, and Guru Rehraas Sahib Ji had given him medicine to make him better. So he'd always had a lot of affection for Guru Rehraas Sahib Ji. So he turned up there to get some blessings. And Maharaj, when Aurangzeb heard that Guru Rehraas Sahib Ji had helped his elder brother, he was turned against him, because already he's a religious fanatic, Islamic fanatic. On top of that, now you've got somebody who's a bit of a, this growing power, who's got, Guru Rehraas Sahib Ji's got an army. ठीक है ना? ते ओ सोचदा सी कि आपां देखिए कि Guru Rehraas Sahib कोल की हैगा. He said, let's check what Maharaj has got with him. So he says he sends a letter to Guru Rehraas Sahib Ji saying, come and show us your spiritual powers. You're from the throne of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. You call yourself Jagat Guru. The Sikhs adore you as a form of God upon earth. When Maharaj tells in Bani that when Satgur vich aap rakhyun kar pargat aag sunaya, that God is placed himself in Satguru, and this thing is not kept gupt, it's not kept hidden. Kar pargat aag sunaya. Everybody is being told that Guru Nanak Dev Ji is the manifestation of God in Kaljug. So he's saying, your people are making very big bold claims about you. Come and show us your powers. So this letter comes to Guru Rehraas Sahib Ji, and at this point Guru Maharaj is there at Kirtpur Sahib, and now all the Mughals, they've obviously requested to see the power. Now Maharaj is saying to the Sangat, and also at this time the Guni Gyani people are brought together. Guni Gyani is how every time we have a decision, you need two types of people. People that have got merits, jehde gun wale hege hain, and Gyani people that have got a lot of knowledge. And here the wise Sikhs, the Gurmukhs of that time are brought forward, the Hazuri Sikhs, but also the families of all the Gurus to date. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, the Bedi ones, they're there as well. Then also Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj and their family, the Trehan ones, they're also there. Then Guru Amar Das Ji Maharaj and their family, the Palla ones, they're there as well. And then obviously the Sodhi ones of Guru Ram Das Ji, which is still continuing with Guru Rehraas Sahib Ji. So the whole families are there, all the educated people are there, all the Guni people are there. And Maharaj is saying, this letter has come, somebody has to go and show the power of Guru Nanak Dev Ji's house to Aurangzeb. And they said, Maharaj, only you can do this, you should go. Maharaj says, I won't give my darshan to that Malaysia. Yeah? So they call him a Malaysia, say he's a fanatic, and we won't be giving our darshan to him. So now the Sangat is thinking, who else can go and represent the Guru Maharaj in this situation? And everybody's being a bit quiet. They're like, Maharaj, you should go, you should go. Well, they said, but we should do something what is the best thing we should do then? At this point, Ram Rai Ji, the older son, comes into the room. He sees everybody gathered and he says, what are we all gathered here about? Tell me, what's going on here? They said, this letter has come. And he says, well, somebody definitely should go. Somebody definitely should go. They said, why don't you go then? You're the elder son, tusi jao. He says, well, in fact, at this point, he's still recognized as the Guru's son. He hasn't turned away from the Guru Sahib yet. And he says, I can't go and show my power. I don't have any power. The only power I could have is if Guru Maharaj blesses me with that power, then surely I will go. At this point then, Guru Rehraas Sahib Ji gives Ram Rai a bachan. And the bachan is recorded now at Itihas. And what Maharaj says to him is basically, whatever you say will come true. Don't worry, you just do what you have to do, and my power will be in your bachan. Whatever you say will come true. So Ram Rai now, he's like emboldened by Guru Maharaj's kirpa upon him, and off he goes to Delhi. Now, what happens is that any azmat is like magic, miracles. And Aurangzeb specifically wants to see azmat. He wants to see the magic. He wants to see the karamat of Guru Nanak Dev Ji's house. Now, obviously, we don't tend to practice those spiritual powers here and now, but we do understand that our Guru has got those powers. Sarab Kala Samrat. Our Guru is full of all powers. So Ram Rai Ji is on his way to Delhi, and then when he gets there, there's many miracles there recorded, but in reality there's 72 big miracles, including bringing things back to life. Yeah? And 360 in total, including all the small miracles. Now at this point, the Muslimans, the Mughals of the Aurangzeb's court, they've been, conquered. There's nothing they can do to convince this person. Everything he says comes true. The glory of Guru Nanak Dev Ji's house is kept up in the Mughal Darbar. No one can say anything about, oh, they got no power. So, what they do next is, Ram Rai, unfortunately, is getting a bit too happy with all the pleasure he's getting, all the wows and the vava he's getting for doing all this stuff. He starts to forget, where is his power coming from? Tudvin siddhi kine na paya. Karam mele nahi thak rahaya. So only powers are, all the powers are being given to him when the karam is, the kirpa is coming, when he's acting in the Guru's name. But now what happens is they bring out a bit of Bani from Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj from Aakhaa Jeevaa. And in this Bani, Maharaj says, Mitti Musalman ki pede pei ko mear, kad pande itta kiya, jaldi kare pukar. This shabad, Maharaj is talking about, humorously Maharaj is talking about the Musalman that doesn't want to be burnt. When we hear about Sulhi Khan, who came to attack Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, Maharaj says Suhi, he died a napak death. His death was mu'a napak, no impure death. Why? Because he burnt. For a Muslim, it's a very horrible death to be burnt alive. Even now, recently, when ISIS burned that the Syrian pilot, Jordanian pilot, then there was such a big outcry because that he was a Muslim. He was a strict Muslim. I just come back from his Hajj as well, and they burnt him, and that's supposed to be one of the worst deaths for a Muslim. So it's still the case now. And what is happening here? The Muslims are being buried in the graveyard, and then the potter is going to the graveyard, and he's digging up this lovely clay which is nutritious and is full of all these decomposing dead Muslims, right? Then he goes back to his house and he makes it into pande and itta, right? He makes it into pots and he makes it into bricks and he puts those in the fire. So obviously you take the clay, then you put it in the fire, and when it cooks it becomes into brick. And here the Muslim is burning. His body, which didn't want to be burnt, is now being burnt. And he's crying out, Jaldi kare pukar. So mitti Musliman ki, the mitti is actually made out of Muslimans. And Maharaj is saying he's burning and he's crying out. Guru Maharaj is pointing out the fallacy of what is going on here, that the body is actually just mitti for us. It is actually mitti. It means nothing to us. Mati ka kya tope swami manas ke gat ehi. What can we do with washing this dirt? We'll never become pure. We're made out of dirt. So what happens here is that Ram Rai, he gets scared. He thinks that now this is something he can't answer. He finds himself unable to give a jawab to this. So what he says is, oh no, it shouldn't say Musalman, it's mitti be'iman ki. Be'iman means somebody who has got no honor. Iman means your faith, your honor. So it's a faithless person. He changes Guru Nanak Dev Ji's Bani just to please Aurangzeb in the court, because he was hoping that if it's all going so well so far, and he gives me the support, maybe I can become the next Guru. He's now concerned about getting the support of Aurangzeb and not the support of his Guru, Sache Pasha. Now what happens is that Guru Maharaj hears about this, that Ram Rai has dared to change the Bani of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. And what happens now? All the kirpa he was hoping for from his Guru, Guru Maharaj says, I don't want to see him again. He's gone too far. No one's allowed to change Bani. So Maharaj ne muh fe leta, he said, we don't want to see him. Unu keh do, mere muh dobar lage na. Ram Rai never sees his father again. But he stays in Delhi, and he actually, then Guru Maharaj straight away in Kiratpur Sahib, they decide that now has come the time, and they pass on the Gurgaddi to their younger son, Guru Harkishan Sahib Ji Maharaj, who's only 5 years old at the time. Now, one thing that comes up in the Sikhs is, they say, why did Ram Rai not ask the bricks to speak? He had that power there, and then he could have got those Muslims that are burning in the bricks, Jaldi kare pukar, he could have brought them up to speak about what was happening to them. But he didn't choose to use that power. He wanted to keep that Muslims on his side. So what happens? Now Ram Rai, interesting, because when I was in Canada, there was Surya Prakash Katha going on exactly about Ram Rai and what happened to him afterwards. So just to show, when the power of Guru Maharaj, the blessing of Guru Maharaj are taken away from this person because of what he did, what happens then? Ram Rai, he kept his spiritual status quite high, yeah, and he was a lot of bhakti in him, but he'd become just that homme, turned away from his Guru, hadn't submitted to his Guru. So now Aurangzeb keeps him on side, and he gives him this place in a place called Doon. He gives him a dera there, and now that place is called Dehradun. So when you go to India, you see a place called Dehradun. That place is famous because Ram Rai was given a dera there, And actually, he messaged us, a Hindu guy messaged us as well from Dehradun, saying that he wants to be a Sikh, but he's wondering should he follow Ram Rai or not, because nearly everybody in Dehradun already follows Ram Rai. Still a very big popular person there. But now the story of Ram Rai, what happens to him? Much later, Ram Rai realizes his big mistake. And he realized that he should have actually followed the Guru's path. And this now he ends up becoming a Guru. He ends up having his own chele behind him. And he realizes he's not actually one with Akal Purakh Waheguru. He's not become supremely knowledgeable divine. Maharaj says, Aisa Satguru je mile, tisno sir sompi vicho aap jaye. He found a Sadguru, but he didn't give himself to that person. And now he hasn't got all the powers. He hasn't got all the supreme bliss. This Riddha Siddha Avarasad. Jagraj Sahib says that the Siddhiya and the Riddhiya, these have a different taste to the real taste of Naam. Ram Rai bitterly regrets what he done. And when obviously Guru Rehraas Sahib passed the Guru Harkrish Sahib ji, they are only Guru for 3 years. So from the 7th Guru, it doesn't take long from the Guru Gadi to get to the 9th to 10th Guru. Because Guru Harkrish Sahib ji is only Guru for 3 years. And then Guru Tegh Bahadur ji, I believe, is only Guru for about 9-10 years. Even less than that. So very soon, at the young age of 9, Guru Gobind Singh ji becomes a Guru. And Guru Gobind Singh ji is actually the cousin of Guru Rehraas Sahib ji anyway. Yeah? They had the same grandfather, Guru Har Gobind Sahib ji. So what happens now is that Ram Rai, generationally, he's actually the nephew, although he's older probably, he's a nephew of Guru Gobind Singh ji. Yeah? So he actually turns up to Guru Gobind Singh ji much later, and he apologizes for what he done, and he falls at their feet. He comes without any of his chele. He comes himself to apologize, not as a Guru, but as a Sikh. He says, I apologize. But when he gets back to his dera in Doon, he's married there, he's living there, and when he gets back to his place, the followers realize that he's now turned away from his own path, and is now turning away from what they're doing. They've got now a dera, they've got a tanda on that business. They've got a business going on. We've got to think ourselves, are we also a business? As a Gurdwara, are we just trying to get money in? Is a Gurdwara only trying to build bigger buildings so they can have more Akhand parts, more Sukhmani Sahib parts, more weddings? And then what will they do next? Let's make even a bigger building with even more car parking so we can have more parts and more weddings. And what is happening here? We're just trying to get people to spend money in the Gurdwara so we can get a bigger golak, so we can get a bigger house, a bigger building. But what is the Sikhi being taught? Is there assessments? Here, the Dera Wale, they want to keep their business going. Yeah? They're not interested in that Ram Rai should go back to the true Guru and understand who Guru Maharaj really is. So he goes and tells his wife Punjab Kaur, you know what, I've got to do some work on a spiritual plane. I'm going to leave my body will be here, don't let anybody see my body. He goes off. He's not in his body anymore, Sari chhad ke chala janda hai, but his Sari is still there, alive. And he's going to come back into his body. But what happens here? Punjab Kaur is trying to stop the people, the Masans in that Gurdwara to see the body, but they are demanding, where is Ram Rai? We want to see him. Where is our Guru? But he's not there to be seen. They start to think maybe he's passed away. So they come 3 or 4 times to try to break down the door to get inside and see him. Every time she turns him away, and she says, you should listen to the bhajan of your Guru. He's already told you not to come inside. But in the end, they break through and they see him lying there in Samadhi. Obviously they realize what's going on. But now they see an opportunity here. An opportunity to get rid of him before he gives up everything that he has to Guru Gobind Singh ji. And what do? They set up a funeral pyre and they set him up to burn him. He's still alive, but in Samadhi. This is what the death that happened to Ram Rai. Yeah? So Ram Rai now, he's in spiritual planes and his wife is doing ardasa. Ki tusi wapas aajo. This is really bad time. You need to come back right now. But in the meantime, the Pandits, in full pomp and celebration, not like they're going to take any second doubts about this, they make nice sandalwood pyre for him. All the full pomp and fair, like their Guru is dying. They put, like tail on their eyes, look like they're crying because their Guru's passed away. And they put his body on the funeral pyre. Finally, just before he's about to be burnt, Ram Rai's soul comes back and sees the whole scene in front of him. And it's all described in Surah Prakash Katha. What happens? He's seeing this scene that he's going to be burnt alive by his own followers. He sees what's happened to him. And then he accepts it. Instead of coming back on a funeral pyre and walking around like a ghost and scaring everybody, he accepts the fate that he is going to get. And then he actually leaves his body and he is burnt. And he tells his wife, don't you worry, they're going to get dealt with. And these people do get dealt with later on by the Sikhs anyway. The point is that utthe us vele, Ram Rai sees. So where you turn away from the Guru, you might not see it there and then. That you might think, oh, Ram Rai, he was alright, he got a dera, he got a place, he had people following him. But in the end, oh, when you turn away from the Guru, you will always regret. Sikh, many people have come out to me and said, Pai Sahib, I used to be a Sikh, I used to have my case, I even used to have taken Amrit, but I left it and walked away. Every single one of those people deep down is regretting. I know that because they come and tell me how badly they regret it. So Sangaji, Sikhi is hard, it's a hard path, no doubt about it. Sakhi nahi Sikhi, or Kia. But that's why the Shaheeds used to sing shabads like Sir Jave Ta Jave, Mera Sikhi Sidak Na Jave. They used to sing these shabads because they knew Sikhi is hard, and they would say, you know what, Maharaj, Kirpa Karo, even if I die, don't let me leave Sikhi. Because Sikhi is hard, but it is the truth as well. You can't leave the truth. You will always regret leaving Sikhi. And that's why Guru Amar Das Ji Maharaj Anand Sahib is telling us, Jeko gurte vemukh hove, bin Satgur mukatna pave. Pave mukatna hor thain koi. Pucho beki aa jaye. If you go and ask all the beki people, the knowledgeable people, they will still tell you the same thing. You can't unless you come back to the Guru. You can't get the mukti. So all those people, whether they do it in this life, if they're lucky, or in the next life, they will pashtange, te wapas aana hi paoga. Koi Guru Sahib, Satgur Bajo, Gur nahi koi. Nigurya ka hai nao bura. Guru is the one. We have to understand this for ourselves. We have to make our mind understand this. The mind will say, well, they're all the same, all the religions are the same. What's wrong with being a Buddhist or a Hindu or whatever? They're all Munni as well. No. Akal Purakh has come down as Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj to give the fullest and the purest form of Sikhi. Sikhi has been around since day one. People didn't know what it was. They didn't know the path of truth. Akal Purakh has come down as Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. So we have to try our best to follow it. And even if we fall, doesn't matter. Even if we make mistakes, doesn't matter. Maharaj is Bakshan Har. In Bhagat Ravidas Ji, he says to Akal Purakh, Jope hamna paap karanta, eh ananta, patit pavan naam, kaise hunta? He goes, Akal Purakh, Vaheguru, Jope hamna paap karanta. He goes, oh Vaheguru, if I didn't do paap, if I didn't make mistakes, Jope hamna paap karanta, eh ananta, oh infinite Vaheguru, if I didn't do paap, patit pavan naam, kaise hunta? He says, who would call you patit pavan? If you're the purifier of the sinner, you need a sinner to be purified, don't you? Sadi male jali karegi, I'm kind of part of the same process. I'm a sinner, but you're here to purify me. So sadi gal banegi. So never ever think that I shouldn't be a Sikh, even if you make 100 mistakes. Get up the next day and live as a Sikh anyway. Because there's nothing but the path of truth. We are all able to make mistakes. We are all liable to make mistakes. I make hundreds a day. Maharaj Kirpa kare, tomorrow we keep walking his path. Don't fall down. So Punjab Kaur, she regrets bitterly obviously that her husband's been killed. But this is basically the story of Ram Rai. So the next pankti in this Shabad, which you couldn't finish last time, Maharaj says, Aakhan wala kya vechara, sifti pare tere pandara. Maharaj, Aakhan wala. Those that start to speak about you, Vaheguru, oh bade vichare ne. Aakhan wala kya vichara, kinna vichara banda ya. How sad is that person? How pitiful is that person that starts to speak about you? Like someone like myself starts to speak about Vaheguru. How pitiful Maharaj is saying this is, because how can you ever describe him? He's so big, he's like an ocean. Sifti pare tere pandara. Your pandar are full of sifti. No matter how many videos you might make, no matter how much simran you might do, you will still regret because kuch kya hai nahi. You didn't even spend any time doing anything of any use to anybody, because look how great he really is. If we even understood how great Vaheguru is, we would regret everything we did which was not to do with Naam. So Maharaj says, how can they start to praise you? Oh, and where the storehouse of Akal Purakh Sifti? You think Sifti Pare Tere Pandara? Where is that Pandar? For us, Guru Granth Sahib Ji is one Pandar. But all the Vedas, the Puranas, the Simrit, the Shastras, the Quran, all the Kitabs, they are all storehouses of God's praise. All these holy books are always praising Akal Purakh Vaheguru. Sifti Pare Tere Pandara. So many religious books are full of praise of Vaheguru. But Maharaj says, but who can even praise you? You are so beyond that. And then another way to understand this word, ki sifti pare tere pandara. What is that real pandar? Sad Sangat. This is the real pandar of sifti. Here is where you can praise Waheguru properly. Here when you say one Waheguru, it's multiplied. Over here the fal of Sangat cannot be overstated. Sangat ka gun bahut adkai. Here when we say Waheguru, the power is multiplied. So here sifti pare tere pandara. Oh Waheguru, this Sad Sangat you've created with your good Sikhs, this is the best place for us to say Waheguru. Then Maharaj says, Jis tu dehe tise kiya chara, Nanak sach swaran hara. Jis tu dehe tise kiya chara. Chara means to force somebody else. Maharaj says, Jis tu dehe, who you give your kirpa Akal Purkh Waheguru, who you give your praises to, this sifti, who you give it to Maharaj, who can force that person to do anything? They become independent. Satguru Mera Beh Motaj. My Guru is independent. If my Guru is independent, then the Guru Sikhs that become part of the Guru, they become independent. You can't force them to do anything. They will do whatever they think is right as per the Guru. So here, if you example we gave 2 weeks ago, because it was Baba Deep Singh Ji Shahidi. Baba Deep Singh Ji's head chopped off. Jistu Dehe. The kirpa has been given to Baba Deep Singh Ji. Baba Deep Singh Ji died once in 1706 when they were supposed to, when they listed Katha of Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Maharaj brought them back. Next time they died on the attack on Harmandir Sahib, when the head was chopped off, and then with Guru Sahib's ardas that they done, the Sangat brought them back. Then finally, when they get down to Harmandir Sahib, the Parkarma, they finally get the Sari the third time. Who can prevent someone, who can force someone who can't even die, even if you chop their head off? Jistu dehe tise kya chara. Maharaj said, Nanak sacho savaran hara. Sacho here refers to Waheguru. The Akal Purkh Waheguru is savaran hara. Savaran hara is that person that can make you beautiful. Whatever you were before, he can change you. Sasangat ji kayori dikhda hai when you see somebody from before. You know, on Facebook they put these videos, pictures, before and after. You got like this guy, Monna, Konna, Shrabi Kababi sitting there thinking he's also cool. And then on this side you see this Singh, Savarya hoya. And you think, wow Maharaj, look at this, what you've done out of this person. What you taken, what you made. And the star on our head, this is a taj for us. This is that crown of our Guru. So Maharaj says, what can you force someone who is being blessed by Waheguru? Because he is the one who makes everything work out for them. They become beautiful, but all their works come to success. Aaj Baba Ajit Singh Ji Shahidi Gurpurab mana rahe sige. Look, birthday. Look at Baba Ajit Singh Ji. How they were so strong. They lived. As a 12-year-old, they were carrying out missions. Who could even stop a 12-year-old who got Guru Maharaj Ji Kirpa with them? Jistu dehe, they say, Kya chara. Who can you force when a 12-year-old man is a boy, what we see in the world, boy, but he's actually such Ardikala, he's carrying out missions. And then, when he gets to an age of 17, he gives one of the biggest shahidiyan for our Panth, to be out there as the elder son of Guru Gobind Singh Ji, leading into battle. 5 by 5 the Singhs are going out in Chamkaur di Gadi. And Baba Ajit Singh Ji, he in the movie, they show him as being shot with arrows. But that death of arrows in his chest, that was the death of Baba Jagraj Singh Ji. He was the one, the younger son of 13 years old, who Guru Gobind Singh Ji wanted to see his son's chatti with arrows coming from the front. Not from the back, so he started run away from the enemy, but from the front. But Baba Ajit Singh Ji died in battle, fighting with swords, with arrows, with spears, piercing into his body. And that kind of a death, Maharaj says, Nanak Sacha Savaran Hara. For us, we look at that body which is covered in blood, in cuts, and we think, sometimes we think, what a horrible death. But Guru Gobind Singh Ji, his eyes are different. They're seeing these all cuts upon Baba Ajit Singh Ji, Baba Jagraj Singh Ji, they're seeing the Shingar of Akal Purkh Waheguru, that this is a Surma who is going out fighting the true death. How many people die with their family, old and wrinkled? And how many people get to have that jump, that Shahida Jampina, the taste of Shahidi on the battlefield? And Guru Maharaj is saying that if we follow him, we will get given this gift, the ultimate gift of Shahidi. When I was in Canada, Pai Jeevan Singh Ji di kahani ho rahi si, the Sakhi of their life. And they were talking about how Pai Jeevan Singh Ji used to do so much pranam to all the Shaheeds. And he always used to say, that is the best death. They're called Mahapur Karane. the best death ever is for Shahidi. When we look at the Shaheeds in our Panth, we should always do pranam. Sometimes we think, oh no, I don't know what they did, was it right or was it wrong? I was at a Sangat and there was my son was looking at my t-shirt and it says Sukha Jinda, mind state. And he was like, who is Sukha Jinda, who are these people? And I started talking about Sukha Jinda. And I was thinking the guy next to me, he might be a bit uncomfortable me talking about these two things that got up and they went out and they gave justice for 1984. When the government is taking away justice from you, when you can't even have the people who illegally attacked Harmandir Sahib, killed thousands of innocent men, women and children, and they can't be prosecuted in that state, and somebody goes out there and delivers justice, they are our Shaheeds. They are the people that are doing the right thing in our Panth. We should never be scared to talk about what they've done. We should be proud of these people. We should put pictures of on our house. Tell our kids, these are our role models. These are the people that we follow. And if we're blessed one day, we can get the same Shaheed that Guru Gobind Singh Ji reserved for the most beloved of his Sikhs. Waheguru. Let's do a little bit of Simran. Remember the Shaheeds, Baba Ajit Singh Ji, all the Shaheeds of our Panth. And let's go on to see the next body, which is Asa Mahalla Pehla, Aakhaa Jeevaa, Visre Mar Jao. So let's follow that now after a bit of Simran. Waheguru, 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 Waheguru. So here, what happens now, as we talked about previously, ये ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਸੀਗਾ ਨਾ ਆਸਾ ਮਹਿਲਾ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਸੁਨ ਵੱਡਾ ਕੀ ਸਭ ਕੋਈ ਇੱਥੇ ਬੀਬੀ ਨਾਨਕੀ ਜੀ is speaking to Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, and in this shabad Maharaj, that Bibi Nanaki then asks Guru Nanak Dev Ji that if Waheguru gives himself to someone, what is that person's life like? Maharaj says that here, if somebody gives themselves to Guru, then here their whole life will be sorted out. Nanak Sach Savaran Hara. If you give yourself to Guru, just to Dehe, to say Kiya Chara, this person who God has given themselves to, because they've given themselves to God, if they become I am yours and you are mine, je egal hogi, Nanak Sach Savaran Hara, that Waheguru makes that person's mind purified. We talk in this, the video was released yesterday about a Bibi in Canada, ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਪ੍ਰਚਾਰ ਹੋਏਗਾ street ਪ੍ਰਚਾਰ about the mind, but how a neuroscientist was relating to the Sikhi version of the mind. But Japji Sahib says ਤਿੱਥੇ ਘੜੀਏ ਸੁਰਤ ਮਤ ਮਨ ਬੁੱਧ, ਉਹਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਸਾਸੰਗ ਜੀ. Maharaj makes us beautiful. What does Savaran Hara mean? Make it become beautiful. What does Saramkhand mean? Saramkhand ki bani roop. That person becomes so beautiful, the words become so beautiful. Maharaj says here that their thinking is sorted out, they become pure. And Shabad from Binder talks about this. Maharaj says, Je jana mar jaiye, kum na aiya, jhoothi duniya lag, na aap vanyaiya. Maharaj says, Je jana mar jaiye. If I knew I was going to die, Satsang we all know we're going to die, but it's not reminded to us. People don't want to talk about it. They want to ignore it. When somebody phones us to buy health insurance or life insurance, death insurance, aapa dar jande, nahi yaar, mainu na phone kari, I don't want to die yet. Maharaj says, Je jana. If I knew mar jaiye, kumna aya, I didn't know I was not going to come back into this life the way it is right now. If I knew this, Chuthi duni lag na aap gavaiya. Chuthi dunya. I would not have attached myself to this fake life and ruin myself. Why don't we, this is the point of reminding ourselves about death. If we remind ourselves that dunya, appa chalna hi hai, don't get attached to this dunya. Guru Maharaj said, Khoob, 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 khoob tero naam, jhoot, 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 duni guman. Pride in this world is all fake. We should realize we're going to die. And here Maharaj says, Boliye sach dharm, jhoot na boliye, jo gur dasse vaat, murida jo liye. So Maharaj, if I knew this, what would I do? Boliye sach dharm. I would say, speak the truth. I would live a righteous life. Jhoot na boliye. I would not lie. I would not tell falsehood. Why? Jo gur dasse vaat. This path of my Guru, vaat means a path. This path of my Guru that my Guru has told me, Murida Joliye, I should go upon that path. So for a Sikh, to be Savaran Harya is to become a good Sikh. From a good Sikh, from a Sikh to a good Sikh, that is the journey of every Sikh. We start off, we come here, we matate to Guru Maharaj, Abba Sikh ban gaye. But for us to be saying we're a good Sikh is the aim. Kai bari main puchta lokan nu ki are you a Sikh? They go, haan. Hath sare khade kar lenge. Sikh vaste sare hath khade ho jande. When I say, are you a good Sikh? Are you a Guru da Sikh? Fir hath thale jalne hege. So assi je Guru de Sikh nahi hege, te kede Sikh hege? We should be thinking, if we're not a Sikh of the Guru, then whose Sikh are we? Are we just following our own mind? Or are we following our Guru? Say, okay sawal hege. But je itthe aake, aapa okay sawal nu na parkhiye, na sochiye, then what have we done here? Andar cholna, look inside, dekhna ki aapa ki kar rahe hege. Many people don't even think about what they're doing with their life. They don't even look inside. But to come to a Gurdwara is to do vichar upon yourself. And this really is the essence of spiritual growth, to start thinking about what are we doing with our life. Before that, we're living an unexamined life. And in Greek, in the famous Greek philosophers, they would say an unexamined life is not worth living. कि जे इंसान ने अपने उत्ते विचार भी नहीं किया, उसकी जिंदगी बेकार हैगी है. Think about what we're doing with our life. Are we actually living up to our maximum potential, what Guru Maharaj wants us to do, or are we just wasting it in this world? That's why Maharaj says, Je jana mar jaiye, kumna aya aiye, chuthi duni lag na aap vanyaiye. I would not have ruined myself attached to this false world. So Khair Sahib Sangat ji, next body, Asa Mahalla Pehla. We're not going to get to go through all of it. So I'm just going to read the first bit up to the Rahau Pankti, and we're going to go into as much as we can of that Shabad. Maharaj says, Asa Mahalla Pehla, Aakhaa Jeevaa, Visre mar jao, Aakhan Aakhaa Sacha Naam, Sache Naam ki lage Pukh, Ut Pukhe Khaye Chaliye Dukh, So Kyon Visre Meri Mae, Sacha Sahib, Sache Nae Rahao. What is the Uttanka of this Shabad? What is the context of this Shabad? How was it spoken out? This Shabad comes up in Guru Granth Sahib Ji twice, by the way. The difference only comes up that it comes up in Ang 349 as well. Utte in Rag Asa. Here, the only difference is, Itthe Mara kehte Ut Pukhe Khaye Chaliye Dukh. Utte likhya hai Tit Pukhe Khaye Chaliye Dukh. Utte Tit ayana. And also, where here it says Denda De, Utte likhya Deda, Utte likhya hai Denda. Bindi hegi hai. There's the only difference there is really in these two Shabads. So the context is this: Guru Maharaj apni udasiyan kar rahe hege, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. They come back to their pind where they're born, their birth town, which we know as Rai Poe ki Talwandi or Sabo ki Talwandi, we call it nowadays as well. And there they come back. They're outside the village, and their mother and father come to meet them and say, "Come home, chalo kar chaliye." So they go back with their mother, Mata Trita Ji, Pita Ji, Kaluji, we call them with love. They're taken back to their house, and they're being fed, they're being looked after by their mother. They're so happy to see him again. And Guru Maharaj is not saying much. Mataji is just talking. Yeah, telling him all the news of what's happened in the Pind, all the galla, as you can imagine if you come home after a long time and you just get this newspaper read out to you, right? And Guru Maharaj is chupchap baithne, they're just jumping naam. After bole na Vaheguru, holi holi bol rahe ne, listen to their mother, they're not saying anything. After some time, Mataji says, Put, tu to kuch nahi bol diya. She says to him that, you don't have to do so much Simran that you can't get involved in talking to people. They say, you don't have to do so much Simran. They say many people, many Siddhs, many yogis are living in the world as well. They talk, they get their karobar done, their pagats as well. Why you have to go so far, so extreme, to have so much naam? No one can even talk to you about mundane things. Tu maa na gal bhi nahi karda. Tanna hi siga, people come nowadays and said, Jada pagat na banni hai, not to sit with us, and when we go to parties and stuff, you should come along. It's okay, so what? Go say, I don't want to go there. It's just nachna, khana, meat, sharab. Why should I go there and hang out there instead? But they go, no, it's karna penda dunya waste. That's what people say, karna penda. What happens here? Maharaj says, what can you do about me? They say, I'm a kamla. They go, I'm gone mad. I'm an addict. They go, main to amli ban gaya hai naam da. So what can I do? Maharaj says, my situation now is like this. And now they describe their own halat. Ithe maa nu ek pote das raha ki maa mera ki haal hai is vele. When Guru Gobind Singh Ji saying to Pai Daya Singh Ji could dasi akal purnu mitr pyare nu haal murida da kehna tud bin rog rajaiyan da odan nag nivasa de rehna. A man is telling his mother what is his haal. He says, I'm an alcoholic. I'm an addict of naam. Maharaj says, Aakhaa Jeevaa visre mar jao. They say, mother, tusi any samajhe meri maa that when I say his name, jis vele main naam aakh raha, that's when I'm alive. Main jinda hu us vele. But when I forget his name, it's like I died. They say, this is my situation right now. I'm like this right now. I can't live without naam. Aakhaa Jeevaa visre mar jao. Guru Nanak Ji Maharaj on Ang 57 of Guru Granth Sahib Ji, they say something very similar. They go, Tis bin kadi na jeevo, bin naave mar jao, main andhle naam na visre, take tiki kar jao. They say, I can't even live for one kadi, one little blink of one little moment. I can't live without him. And bin naave mar jao, without his name I would die. Maharaj says, I'm blind, naam na visre. He said, I might be blind, but let me not forget his name. Munu naam na visre bas. As blind as I am, let me just keep calling him, because if I keep calling him, he will show me the way. And Maharaj says, take tiki kar jao. If my support, tiki rahe, if I stick with him, I will end up at my true home. When you're lost and you've got like a little rope, you might be lost, you might not know where the rope is going, but you've got the rope and you've got hope. Ohi naam hai. When you've got that rope, no matter how lost I am, as long as I keep jumping this naam, I will find him. So this is what Guru Sahib's mantra is like for us. And even in Guru Nanak Ji Maharaj, they say about an amli. Amli di gal hegi hai. What is the state of an amli? Maharaj says, Amli amal na ambade, machi neer na hoye. They go, for an amli, an addict, there's nothing like what he is addicted to. Kuch nahi hai vade varge. Nothing like the drug to the addict. To the machi, there's nothing like water. You can't put the machi in milk and say tu ithe rehla. You can't put it in some lovely, whatever you think is the most coolest thing like alcohol and say ithe rehla. No, the machi needs the water. And the alcoholic needs the alcoholic needs alcohol. The drug addict needs the drug. Maharaj says, Jo ratte sah apne, tis paave sab koi. Maharaj says, Jo ratte sah apne. Those who are tuned to their Vaheguru, everybody is pleasing to them. They don't hate anybody. They're sort of samdrishti. They see everybody is equal, but Homvari vanya khanye, vanya to sahib ke naave. Say, Vaheguru, I am a sacrifice. I've been cut into pieces to your name. They say people in the world have their things. What am I addicted to? To your name. Aakhaa Jeevaa visre mar jao. There's Sakhi here about becoming an alcoholic. A beautiful Sakhi. I just found it in the steek when I was reading. I thought I'd tell you. One time, Mata Slakhni Ji, the wife of Guru Nanak Ji Maharaj, has made Maharaj some roti. Sham da vela aaya, they made some roti. And Maharaj is having a rest. They're just lying down for a bit. And they say to the servant in the house, they go wake up Guru Nanak Ji, tell him roti is made, and they can have it while it's hot. The maid goes over to see Guru Maharaj. She sees them resting, and she says, I don't want to wake him up. So she comes back and says to Mataji, they're sleeping. She says, so what? Just go wake him up. He wants to have roti warm, wake him up, doesn't matter. And the maid goes back, and they see Guru Maharaj, such shanti on their face, so relaxed, and she doesn't want to wake him up. But then she thinks about Mata Lakshmi Ji, she'll be annoyed. So she's saying, what can I do? So in her indecision and her love for her guru and also love for the mistress to give what's given her the order, what does this dasi do? What does this servant girl do? She sees Maharaj lying there and they've got the chadar. She peels the chadar back. She grabs hold of their charan. Right? She grabs hold of their feet and she starts to hold their feet. Then she thinks, oh, what if I just kiss their feet? Maybe they'll feel that and they'll wake up. So she starts to kiss their feet. Holy, she starts to kiss their feet. Say, Maharaj jaag jange. Now here she is serving her guru. But what happens here? Maharaj is telling us, Gur ka darshan dekh jeeva, Gur ke charan toye piva. Here, not even washing it, she's kissing the feet of the guru. What does Sheikh Friji tell us in the Bani? Ki jinna pasata chach chumma pair mu. If somebody knows the truth, I wish I could kiss their feet. Here the maid is getting a chance to kiss the feet of Akal Purakh themselves. Yeah? Aap Narayan Kalatar Jag Mein Parvaryo. What happens to her? She starts to get Maha Anand. She gets so much Anand. Or the sare kapat khul jande hai. She starts to get pure darshan of Akal Purakh Vaheguru. Darshan dwar starts to open there and then by kissing Guru Nanak Ji's feet. She's in supreme bliss. And there in her bliss, when she's totally out, in love with Guru Maharaj, she sees there that Guru Maharaj is at Mansukh Sarovar. This is Sarovar, a very famous Sarovar in North India. And there Maharaj is making people swim across the ocean of the world. They're tarring people across. She sees this vision of Guru Maharaj saving so many people across the world. She can't cope with it. She goes back to Mataji, Mata Lakshmi Ji. She's all like mashed at this moment of Naam. She goes back, she goes, oh, she said, I can't wake him up. He's saving hundreds of people. How can I do this? And here, the Mata Slagnis get like, oh, no, again. She's like, all these people come, I tell them to do something, they get absorbed in love, they forget what I told them to do. So she goes back and she wakes up Guru Nanak Ji Maharaj. And she goes, what have you done to her? And she's talking about you saving people at Mansukh Sarovar and all this stuff. Maharaj says, oh, to amli hai. They go, oh, amli chamli hogi. She's just gone a bit, she's found her drug, she's addicted to Naam. They didn't say to her that, oh, that she saw me. Imagine if they said, yes, she saw the truth. So the Maharaj said, no, that would be too much for the world to know that she has seen the spiritual vision of me saving hundreds of people. They covered her honor as well. They said, yes, she is a bit of an amli. But what is amli for Sikhi? Amli is somebody who's amli for Naam. So Maharaj said her honor. So see, what an honor she had. Onu Maharaj karke, what bahana Maharaj made for her to be saved in that way as well. She served Guru Maharaj in their own house. So here, Maharaj said, Aakhaa Jeevaa, Visray, Mar Jao. Guru Maharaj said, I'm such an amli. They go, if I forget him for 1 second, I mar janda hai. But then they go, Aakhaa Sacha Nao. Why do they say this? Because Mataji, here we go back to Guru Nanak Ji's mother. The Pela Prasang the first story that was going on. The Mataji saying to their son, Tu inna kyun jabdaya? Why do you jab so much Naam? Here what happens, that Mataji says to Guru Nanak, he says, listen son, there's many people in this world that jap Naam as well. Tu kallani, kafi log jabde ne. And they seem to survive in this world. They have things that they do. And they get on with their life. Maharaj says, Aakhaa Sacha Naam. They go, you think the japping Naam, but really japping Naam is very okha. Why is it okha? Dekho sare ke aakho, Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru. Bani is telling us ki Aakhan Aukha, Sunan Aukha, Aakh na japi Aakh. They say it's hard to listen to Naam and it's hard to jap Naam. It's hard to it can't even be chanted with the mouth. It's that aukha. Now, at the same time, Mare Saregi Naam Japo, Japota Eko Nama, Avar Nrafal Kama. They're saying you must jap Naam, but also they're saying it's very awkward. So there's a couple of stories, hopefully you can fit them in the next 10 minutes, about how it's aukha to jap Naam. People think it's easy, but Saad Sangat ji se aap soch lo, right here where you are right now, if you brought people here now to jap Naam in your family, they would find it awkward. It's true, isn't it? If I dragged my cousins here right now, they would go like, what is going on here? People find Naam awkward, so then what is happening here? We are all being blessed. All the people that enjoy japping Naam, we all must recognize that we are being blessed. Here's a story of Bhagat Chhajju. He was a Bhagat in Lahore. He was not the other Chhajju who was a Sikh of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji, but a similar sort of time, he's a famous Bhagat. Bhagat Chhajju, he was in between Jahangir and Shah Jahan in that time, and he was a partiya, very honest person. He had a shop as well. And Raja Ranjit Singh actually made his shop into a sort of a place to remember Bhagat Chhajju because he was such a famous Bhagat. So he's not somebody who is not recognized. He was recognized. The Sakhi about Bhagat Chhajju, what happens one day in Lahore, there was a lot of rain. Lot of rain. And people that were normally the Mazdoor kande hage, Mazduri are people that do dihadi di roti. You know, even if you go here to South of Broadway and you see people on King Street, you see these people just standing there waiting for a job. Yeah? Those people are daily workers. They need a job every day, and they use that money earned in the day to go and pay for their food and accommodation that they have in that day. So these are people that were there at that time as well. And Bhagat Chhajju looks out of his window and he sees a bunch of people queuing up, they're standing outside his house. It's raining so much that they've taken shelter just next to his house. But they've got nothing to do. So he comes out and he said, "Oi Purkho, what are you doing here?" They said, "Appa mazdoor hege hain. Appa mazdoori karde hege. We're poor people, we just work on a daily basis. Roji roti hundi hai. And today we can't get a job. No one wants to hire us. There's so much rain, we can't go and do anything. No one's available to get us a job." So they go away regretting now, wondering what we can do to earn our roti today. And Bhagat Chhajju says to them, "How much do you earn a day anyway? Kitna kamande hai kyo?" Obviously he's got a shop, he knows a bit about money. And they say, we earn roughly 4 anne dinde, 4 anne. At that time, so it's a form of pennies, yeah? They say, we earn 4 pennies in a day, something like that. And they say, oh, they go, I got a job for you. In this job, you can get 8 anne a day. They go, wow, that's great. They go, you can come and I will help you earn 8 anne a day. They go, okay, ajo. So he takes them inside and he puts them into separate little rooms in where he is. Sits them down. He says, you're supposed to just sit here and jap Ram Ram all day. And you sit here for 8 hours, just jap Ram Ram all day, whatever how many hours, and I gave them a mala each. They go, I will give you 8 anne for just jumping Naam all day long. Now what happens here? He left them there, and they're sitting there jumping Naam, right? After some time, he's sitting in his shop, and they all come back to him. And they give him back his mala. They go, Sarta nahi honda. They go, we'll go outside, we'll be hungry. They go, we'll find something to do tomorrow. Today we'll stay hungry, but we can't jump Naam for the whole day. Even if he pays double, they're too used to outside that kind of work, never used to jumping Naam. So pehla Aakhan Aukha Sacha Naam. When you first come to Gurdwara and you sit here and they're doing Simran, you are going to find it hard. First couple of minutes, your mind will not sit anywhere, it'll run all over the place. And you want to run away from this place. You say, I can't cope. But we have to go through that pain. It's like the first day when you're at the gym and you're the fat guy and everybody's laughing at you. You can't just run away. You got to stick with it, because it's those people that need the gym. Do you understand? You got to understand, gym is made for those people. The Gurdwara is made for the Patit to become Pavan. Yeah? Gurdev, Tirat, Amrit Sarovar. Guru is the Tirat that we come here to wash. So we have to come here. It's meant for the people that can't jap Naam. So they can learn to jap Naam. Sadhu Sang Sikhayo Naam. Maharaj says, learn about Naam with the Sadhu Sangat. Then there's another story about the same thing, how Aukha is to jap Naam. At the time of Guru Gobind Singh Ji as well, a whole bunch of Brahmins came up to Guru Gobind Singh Ji. They said, Maharaj, because of what you're doing, everybody's following you. You're the avatar of Kaljug. No one cares about us anymore. Sadi Roji Roti Band. No one comes to worship us. No one's interested in us coming to their house and blessing their house. They keep reading your Bani. They said, you spoil our job. Maharaj said, Acha. Oh, sorry to hear about that. Maharaj said, okay, we can do something for you. He said, I can give you something to do, which will give you food, which will give you money, and it will give you respect. And nice clothes as well. They go, Maharaj, dust though, we'll do it. Whatever it is you say, we'll do it. Just get us have these things that you're promising us. Maharaj says, no problem. They say, if you go into this room and you do 8 hours of Simran a day, I will give you 5 gold coins every day. We will have food made for you, which is perfect. We'll give you kapde as well. What a great deal. Yeah? And these Brahmins, they go, chalo theek hai, let's try it. So they go off. Guru Maharaj says to Bhai Alam Singh at that time, they go, watch these people. What Bhai Alam Singh does, he puts them in separate areas, so they're far away from each other, they can't spend their time chatting. He divides them off, he gives them a mala, and he goes, right, I'm watching you guys. You spend 8 hours a day jumping Simran and you will get all your promise. So the first day they manage it. They manage the 8 hours, they get back to Guru Maharaj, they get their 5 gold coins, they get beautiful cooked food, and Maharaj says, okay, so tomorrow, back here same time, yeah? 8 hours. They go, Maharaj is baksh do. They go, masa, barely managed to jump around today, Maharaj. Kal nahi hona sar. We can't do it. They say, we'll go back. They say, you know what, we'll sell our calendars, we'll sell our jantri mantri, we'll do our whatever we can with Jyotshi kam. We'll do whatever we can to get by. We cannot do what you're telling us to do. It's too hard for us to jump so much naam, 8 hours a day. Aakhaa sacha naam. We have to understand, it's not easy. Then those people that have the pyas for naam, shouldn't they be thanking Waheguru? Shouldn't they be thanking Waheguru? Master, todi kirpa hai that you've blessed me with the ability to actually sit here for 10 minutes, 20 minutes to jump a naam. We should push ourselves. Take a naam holiday. Take a day. We say, you know what, we're going to push jump naam so much today because today I've got nothing much to do. Let me just jump more and more naam. Because only when we get used to jumping naam can we do even more. Je pehla adha ghanta karange, tahi fir ghanta te pahunch sakange. If we stay below 5-10 minutes all our life, we never progress to half an hour, 1 hour, we'll never be able to manage that much. So it's all about staying in the zone. Yeah, when we get in the zone of Simran and keep extending that zone. So this is what Maharaj is telling us. It is aukha. It is hard to jap naam. But then Maharaj says, Sache naam ki lage bhookh. They go, oh Vaheguru, I have a desire. I have a book inside me. What is that book? To jap naam. Sache naam ki lage bhookh. Ut bhookhe khaye. Chaliye dukh. Maharaj says, ut pukhe, ut here means about that book. Ut pukhe khai. When I start to focus upon that book and I eat something for that book. Dekho, if somebody just had loads of savory stuff, salty stuff, they've got a book for something mitha. If you get them something else savory, they won't like it. They'll want that mitha again. They've got the desire for something mitha, they're going to look around for something mitha. If somebody's had too much mitha, they're looking for something salty. You can't offer them something mitha. They're not interested in that. They're looking for something salty. So Maharaj says, Utpukhe khai chaliye dukh. When I eat for that book, i.e., when I jap naam. When I jap naam and fulfill that book, sache naam ki lage pukh, ud. Now, when I was younger, because I didn't know part, I would hear this and it would say, Utpukhe khai chaliye dukh. And what I thought was, Utho pukhe advi utke jap naam. But no, it's not ut, it's ut. Utpukhe khai chaliye dukh. What is the dukh that will go when we jump this naam? The first dukh that will go is that, firstly, we won't be so upset. That when we are separated from Waheguru, then we have that dukh, that we don't see him. Yeah? That dukh will start to go because dukh par har sukh kar le jai. We'll get that sukh of naam firstly. But what else will we get? Janam maran da gate bhi katta jauga. Maharaj is telling us, if you jump naam, you will get mukti as well. Nanak naam bina ko mukta na hoi. Without naam, we cannot even get mukti. So Maharaj is telling us that by jumping naam, the dukh of life and death will also go. Maharaj says, Nebani ki dukh pukh neh vyapai je sukhdata man hoi. If he comes inside our mind, then the dukh and the pukh will not touch us. Je sukh dehe ta tujhe aradi, dukh bhi tujhe te ai. Je pukh dehe ta it hi raja, dukh vich sukh manai. This is Guru Sahib Ji Kirpa, that the dukh of the world will not affect us if we start to jap naam. And Maharaj says, So kyon visre meri mai, sacha sahib, sacha nai. I say, oh my mother, see the mothers come up in here? Because it's all, they're actually talking to the mother here. And they're saying, oh my mother, you're telling me to forget him and talk to you about the world, but how can I forget him and to forget? Look at me. This is my hal. I'm without him I die. So kyun visre meri maa? How can I? Ithe kyun da matlab nahi ki why should I? It's more like how. How can I? Kiਵੇਂ? In Bani, when kyo comes up, it means kiਵੇਂ. Man says, so how can I forget him? It's not like why should I forget him, but how can I forget him, oh my mother? How can I forget him? When I forget him, I die. Do you want me to die? I can't live without him. This bin kadina jeevon. I can't live without him for even 1 second. So kyon visre meri mai? Why also? Because Sacha Sahib, Sache Nai. He is the true master. He is the Lord of everything. Everything in this world belongs to him. He is my own Lord as well. Furman tera sire upar. His order is upon my head. And the Maharaj says that Sacha Nai. He is true. He is Ad Sach, Jugad Sach, Happy Sach, Nanak, Hosi Pi Sach. And his Naam is true from the beginning to the end. There's nothing more powerful than God's name upon this earth. Naam is the thing that is holding everything up. Naam ke tare sagal akar. Everything in this world is supported by Naam. It is that primal force of Akal Purakh Vaheguru. It's the manifestation of Vaheguru, which is Akal Purakh is nirlep from this world. But what is the manifestation of them? Is their Naam. They are in their Naam. You can't see them apart from through their Naam. It's very deep philosophy. Sometimes we can't really go into it. But the point is sometimes you can't see power. You can only see the manifestation of that power. Yeah? And Naam is a manifestation of Akal Purakh's power which cannot be seen. They are always Nirankar. So Naam is the thing that can be felt. And for us, that Naam is what we can connect to. So Sacha Sahib, Sache Nai. His name is true. Koi shanka na kare ki there is no such thing as Naam. If you feel it, when you experience it, jap his name, you will know that his name is true, and you will know that he is also true. This is the true faith of Sikhi. Sikhi is not about belief, it's about experience. When we experience his name, about man jawange, he is the master. If we accepted him as a master, what should we do next? Walk upon his path. Yeah? That is the point. When we experience him, don't hold back, start to follow him. So, Sasangaji, we're going to go on to the rest of this afterwards. And Guru Maharaj talk about the greatness of Naam, and the conversation between their mother and them will continue. So, Das Salon Puran Chukadi Khyam Bakshin Ji, Gaj Gaj Fateh Aakho Ji, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Vaheguru, Vaheguru.
If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Please donate and help spread Guruji's message. Link is in the description below. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Vaheguru.